Never been better. I'm doing wonderful. How are you this morning?
I'm great. And there's so much to get into with you, so much to talk about.
Oh,
First of
yeah.
all, congratulations for an amazing moment on Sunday at All Out. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I know I had said this previously, but it seriously was my favorite night of my career and one of my favorite nights of my life. I'll never forget it. It was amazing.
I said this on the air, and I even said it to my wife, who I was with on Sunday, that my 40 years of watching pro wrestling, that was without a doubt the best event that I was ever in attendance for. And I've been to
Yeah.
hundreds of them. And that Sunday night was just a special night.
It really did. The entire card from top to bottom felt like it had everything. And then to me, the biggest thing, which is so much of what makes a great wrestling show, is the fans in attendance were so on edge and so excited for what was to come. Like they knew some cool stuff was going to happen, but they weren't totally sure. They knew they were going to see some of the best matches they've ever seen in their entire life. They were so jazzed. They were so ready to go. I know all the talent was jazzed and ready to go. I mean, you can't beat it. It was just one of those magical nights. It was amazing. And I agree. It was one of the absolute best pay-per-views I've ever seen.
Yeah, talk about this journey these last few years because the great the great feud you had with Kyle O'Reilly at Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
which I thought was amazing. It's just amazing storytelling leading up to Kyle O'Reilly finally be able to beat you for that Ring of Honor championship, and then the stories you were able to tell with NXT, and just making this appearance on AEW program, and again this past Wednesday on Dynamite. Just how is this journey? Just as somebody who is, a long time wrestler, you've been doing it for such a long time, and at a young age because you're still so very young. Just talk about this journey.
Yeah, it's been incredible. Again, when I first decided I wanted to be a pro wrestler, the mentality was, yeah, I really, really just want to get out there and wrestle. And at the end of the day, that's all I want to do as well. I just want to go out there and wrestle. But to think of all the cool experiences and great people I've gotten to work with and cool places I've gotten to go, and for it to lead to that moment at All Out was surreal. It felt like a full circle moment in a lot of ways. Like I haven't gotten to share the ring with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega in a really, really long time. Another interesting thing, you bring up Kyle O'Reilly. This is the first time since 2009 that me and Kyle O'Reilly are not in the same company, which is really crazy to think about. I mean, for so many years, we had worked alongside each other, that whether that be as partners or whether that be as enemies, we had worked alongside each other. And then again, the Young Bucks and Omega, being three of the people I'm closest with, to finally share a ring with them again. It was just, I was feeling very, very sentimental. I actually had said this also before, but I remember before I was about to come out, I was so overwhelmed with emotion that like my legs were physically shaking, and it wasn't even nerves. It was like, I was so excited for that moment. And that's why I'm going to try to relive it constantly in my head. I just had such an amazing time. It was so cool it feels like all 13 and a half years kind of led to that moment on Sunday.
That's amazing. Now being a part of AEW, and you're at the media scrum afterwards, you were sitting with Tony Khan. What was it about Tony Khan? What was it about AEW that made you want to come here and have a home here?
So there are so many factors, and I could go on and on, but a few of the ones off the top of my head is, you mentioned Tony Khan, and Tony is such an incredible person. He has such a love and passion for pro wrestling that I've said before, but I'll say again, is contagious. You can tell that he just eats, sleeps, and breathes this stuff, and that's great, especially when you're the one leading the charge for a company like AEW. On top of that, again, you've got a locker room full of guys who are ready to do anything and everything to deliver the best match, the best segment possible. And then maybe most important, you have a bunch of rabid fans who so badly want AEW to succeed. And when you have a company that is going up to the plate and hitting a home run every single time, and then you have fans that are super satisfied and they want you to hit that home run, that's that magical atmosphere, that I talk about and so many other people talk about. And I've watched AEW from the, very beginning, and watching the product grow and watching it turn into the, again, excellent pro wrestling company that it is. I mean, I don't see how you couldn't want to be a part of it.
And one thing I love too were your comments after All Out about appreciation. And I mean that for, like you mentioned, the 4 years you were with the WWE. And
yes,
a lot of times we see wrestlers leave one company and then, there's a lot of animosity. But you were very much appreciative for those 4 years that you were with them.
Oh my God, I am so thankful for those 4 years. Again, when I was 9 years old, my dream was to work for the WWE. And I got the chance to do that for 4 years. I had so many amazing experiences. I got to work alongside Shawn Michaels for 4 years and developed a wonderful relationship with him. I mean, that was one of the absolute highlights of my time there. Again, Triple H was wonderful. That locker room is wonderful. Those fans are wonderful. I learned so much there. And I got so many really, really cool experiences. So there's not even a small part of me that was angry or upset in any way with the WWE. I had a really, really wonderful time, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world.
It's so funny because for me, when I look at NXT, it's not a large period of time. But what I thought was funny after All Out at the media scrum afterwards, and somebody who calls into the show all the time, Izzy. Here's somebody that, 4 years ago was the fangirl in the front dressed like Bailey at NXT shows. And then there she is in front of the stage this past Sunday asking you questions as you're making your debut with AEW. It's pretty surreal to see that people growing up watching you in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. And all I kept thinking to myself was, I remember being really young and thinking, God, I just want to be involved in the wrestling business so badly. And I think about someone like Izzy, who again, not only has grown up so much, but again, going from being a fan in the front row to being there at that media and standing there in the front and interviewing and asking people questions. To me, it just warms my heart to see people who have a passion for something and then to kind of see them get more and more involved in the thing that they love. So anytime I see Izzy doing anything like that, it makes me very happy. I'm very happy for her.
One thing that AEW is doing, and it's something that I don't think we've seen in a very long time in pro wrestling, is that they're getting mainstream attention. A lot of people have called me that aren't wrestling fans or have been out of wrestling for decades asking about AEW. And what's great about it is AEW, and listen, they tried it with, Mike Tyson and Shaquille O'Neal, where they had those people appear on Dynamite and they got some attention. But now they're getting mainstream attention by just putting on their show, right? Like you're getting attention from ESPN and all these different newspapers and media outlets just by putting on their normal show. I mean, to me, that's an achievement unto itself.
Absolutely. And on top of all those things that you just mentioned, I can speak personally on this, which is pretty crazy. So I know a lot of people who follow me know that I actually have a Twitch channel. And Twitch is that very, very popular platform, very much that 18 to 35 male demographic. And I've had one, for quite some time. And I ended up streaming the day after my my All Out debut. And it was the most insane numbers. Like it was quadruple what I normally have, which again is a testament to the type of people and the type of mainstream attention that AEW gets, even in the Twitch atmosphere. So that on top of, like you said, ESPN and all these other outlets, like you said, just by running their show. So the reach that AEW has now, I mean, I've even seen firsthand, in addition to the company seeing it so much itself. So it's so exciting to be a part of.
Do you feel that though? Do you feel the momentum building? Do you feel kind of like this wind of change in the world of pro wrestling now because of AEW?
I do. I really, really do. And the exciting part is you've seen over the years, there have been certain moments where you felt like AEW was getting more and more and more momentum. All Out was absolutely one of those moments. And lucky for me, I got to be a part of it. So the thing that's exciting for me is to think, what else is AEW going to do to top themselves? How much more attention are we going to get? How many more fans are we going to attract? How many more people who maybe haven't watched pro wrestling in a little while go, you know what? I'm going to check out this AEW because it feels like it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Right now, I feel like we have so much momentum that is just continuing to build. So, I mean, of course, I'm excited. And, the older I get, the more I decide to live in the moment. But I am very excited to see where All Elite Wrestling is going to be in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, even 5 years.
You talked about living in the moment. Did you have that moment at All Out? Did you kind of smell the roses for yourself when you went out there on Sunday?
I did. And I'm so happy because I cannot tell you how many times I have been so excited for something and I'll go out there and literally I will practically black out. Like I don't even remember it because I'm so in the zone and so focused on what it is that I have to do and what it is I have to accomplish. And like I just said, the older I get, the more I go, these moments are really, really cool. And I got to relish in these. I got to live in these and I got to remember these forever. So I made sure on a night like All Out, which again, like I said, was one of the most favorite nights of my entire career. I think a big reason for that is because I was living in the moment. So yes, I made sure to stop and enjoy it. And I think that could be a big reason. Maybe my legs were shaking a little bit, maybe I was living too much in the moment.
I get that. I first of all, and this is hard for me to say, Adam, because I grew up watching Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone has always been kind of a hero of mine. He's one of the reasons I do what I do. But he's been nothing but mean to me. I mean, this guy takes shots at me on his show, and then to see you in the ring with him, stare him down, get him to leave the ring, call him a nerd, which is what he is. I mean,
big old nerd.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, he's trying to look cool with the earring and everything. I'm glad that you were able to shoot him down on Dynamite.
Absolutely. He Tony Schiavone's been out of line for quite some time. And I was like, it's been way too long since somebody, got in his face and said how they feel. And I said, you know what? It's my first ever Dynamite. And I'm here in the ring with Tony Schiavone. The first thing I want to do, the first impression I wanted to make, that's how important it was to me, was to shut him down and to get him out of the ring. It felt great.
Because it's, the other thing too, like you mentioned Britt, which I could have, I wasn't expecting that on Dynamite, but hey man, that's your girl, dude. You can't have this guy around. He's creepy.
Exactly. I mean, of course, I get that Britt and Tony Schiavone get along, but I got my eyes on Tony Schiavone. I don't trust him completely. I don't like his demeanor. I don't like his face. That's what I don't like. I don't like his face.
Next week in Newark, and this is the other thing too, Adam, is that with AEW, every arena that you're coming in is packed. And for like a lot of younger fans, and I've been doing Busted Open now for 13 years. This is not something that I'm used to. Outside the world of the WWE, you never saw full arenas until you'd have to go back to the 90s to be able to see that. I mean, and now you're seeing it on a weekly basis with AEW. You're going to be in a packed house in Newark, New Jersey next week, going up against Frankie Kazarian. You're very used to the New York, New Jersey area. What's it going to be like once again, wrestling in front of 15, 16,000 fans in the tri-state area?
Oh my God, it's going to be awesome. Because another thing too is, and a lot of this had to do with the pandemic, obviously, but it's been quite some time since I've had the chance to actually wrestle and perform in front of a packed house. So all of this is happening again so fast. And then on top of that, like you said, being in that area where I have a ton of history, God, I'm excited because, a live crowd is the lifeblood of what we do. To me, that's what makes pro wrestling unlike anything else, any other sport, any form of entertainment, is that live audience interaction. And the AEW fans are better than anybody in the entire world. So to get the chance to go there again, like you said, in front of a packed house is going to be awesome. Especially against a guy like Frankie Kazarian, who, again, he's someone else I've known for quite some time. He is very talented. Of course, I'm going to get that victory because I'm Adam Cole, baby. But it will be really, really exciting. I can't wait.
As he said, Adam Cole. Adam, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it. Congratulations, and can't wait to see you in the ring next week in Newark at AEW Dynamite.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Fight